Welcome to the 2021 Canadian Electrical Code Essentials Training.
It is your responsibility to understand and apply all requirements of the Canadian Electrical Code Part 1, including those not addressed in the training. Do you want to know how to take this course? Click Yes or No. This course emphasizes practical information through scenarios, activities, and real-world examples to assist in conveying the code's requirements. Do you want to know how to take this course? This course. Hover over each marker to learn more. While online learning is a familiar format to take training, it is best to know of the basics of how to take this course. There is narration, so you need headphones or speakers to hear the audio. Make sure your system volume is not muted. If you should quit the course before finishing, when you next restart, you will pick up where you left off. No need to start at the beginning. You may find it beneficial to have a copy of the 2021 published edition of the Canadian Electrical Code Part 1 as you take this course. The code is available in print and electronic formats. Use the link in Resources to access the CSA store to purchase the format that meets your specific needs. Another practical resource is the 2021 published edition of the Canadian Electrical Code Handbook, an explanation of the rules of the Canadian Electrical Code, Part 1. CSA Group is a standards development organization accredited by Standards Council of Canada. The Canadian Electrical Code Part 1 is developed and maintained by CSA Group. First published in 1927, the code, as of 2018, is a designated national standard of Canada by SCC. From SCC, the criteria to become a national standard is that the standard must be developed by consensus of a balanced committee of stakeholders, undergo public scrutiny, be published in both official languages, and be consistent with or incorporate existing international and pertinent foreign standards. Also, national standards must not act as a barrier for trade. Code requirements address the fundamental principles of protection for safety. The course emphasizes practical information through scenarios, activities, and real-world examples. The activities are designed to help you to locate, understand, and apply code requirements for various types of buildings and occupancies. These activities may be focused to planning, designing, inspecting, installing, operating, or maintaining electrical work and electrical equipment. You complete these activities throughout this training. This course includes activities and quiz. Use the activities to self-measure how well you understand and can apply what you are learning. You will need to pass the quiz to complete this course. CSA communities connect our members, stakeholders, and all users of standards in an open, collaborative online environment. The communities provide a new and improved platform to show your support of standards-related activities in areas of importance to your organization. They are your dedicated resource to discover new ideas and discussions, connect with other users who share your passion for standards development, and collaborate in the development of new projects and standards. This course includes activities and quiz. Use the activities to self-measure. Do you want to know how to take this course?
In this course, you meet subject matter professionals. The role of these facilitators is to help you to understand and be able to apply the requirements of the sections of the Canadian Electrical Code Part 1 detailed in this course. The facilitators are with you throughout the training modules. To directly support the purpose, each learning has identified objectives. Here is what you will learn as you take this training. This training is comprised of selected sections of the 2021 Canadian Electrical Code. Each section is a separate training. There's a course roadmap in Resources that outlines those modules. A best practice is to save or print the course roadmap to track your progress in the course. Save or print a copy of the training quick reference guide. It is located in Resources. Use this quick reference guide as a practical job aid.
Welcome to Diagrams of the Canadian Electrical Code. The aim of this training is to provide new knowledge and to support the development of new skills that you can apply immediately to your job. The purpose is why you are taking this learning. To directly support the purpose, each learning has identified objectives. Here's what you will learn as you take this training. Diagrams are not located within or follow after a rule or table. They are grouped together in one place, called diagrams, which follows Section 86 and tables. Seems logical, and it is. Why are they located in one place? Because many rules and tables may reference the same diagram. For example, Diagram 1 is referenced throughout the code in multiple rules. Having the same diagram display in several locations would be repetitive and even confusing. Diagrams fill at least half a page, with most being one full page. If placed within each rule or table when referenced, diagrams would unnecessarily add to the overall length of the code. Diagrams help a user to understand rule requirements, and by being grouped together, diagrams are easy to locate. Diagrams which are referenced in sections 0 to 86 or are in a mandatory appendix are required. Diagrams which are referenced in an appendix which is informative may be required if adopted by a regulatory authority. This summary helps you to recall the main concepts and requirements of this code section. Welcome to Tables of the Canadian Electrical Code. The aim of this training is to provide new knowledge and to support the development of new skills that you can apply immediately to your job. The purpose is why you are taking this learning. To directly support the purpose, each learning has identified objectives. Here's what you will learn as you take this training. All tables in the code are located in a section called Tables, which appears after the end of Section 86. This section starts out with a listing of all of the tables and the page number they are on for easy access. After that, each table is listed in numerical order. The main reason for the tables all being located together is that each table can be referenced multiple times through the code without it being repeated each time. Doing this significantly shortens the length of the code by not having repetition. Tables range in size from only a few rows to multiple pages worth of content. Each table will have a number, title, and the rules that reference that table all listed at the top. If there are relevant footnotes or other notes for the table, these will be at the bottom of the table, as shown here. The symbols before each footnote also appear within the table, to match the footnote with the applicable part of the table. Below, the footnotes are other general notes for the table. If there are multiple notes to one table, they are numbered. All tables in the code are considered mandatory requirements, as they are referenced in a rule. This includes the footnotes and notes below each table. However, within Appendix B, Notes on Rules, there are notes for a few tables there are informative. The tables in the majority of the Appendix D are informative. For example, tables D8-D17 are mandatory when they're referenced in Rule 4-004. This summary helps you to recall the main concepts and requirements of this code section. Welcome to Appendices of the Canadian Electrical Code. The aim of this training is to provide new knowledge and to support the development of new skills that you can apply immediately to your job. The purpose is why you are taking this learning. To directly support the purpose, each learning has identified objectives. Here's what you will learn as you take this training. The Appendices of the Canadian Electrical Code, Part 1, are located after tables and diagrams. They are designated by letters to differentiate from sections, which are numbered. The purpose of the appendices is to provide additional or supplemental information or guidance to the users, and to provide guidance to the technical committees when developing and revising the code. As you thumb through each appendix, you see a note directly after the title. This note indicates if it's informative, non-mandatory, normative, mandatory, or a blend. Appendix A is one of two appendices that are entirely normative, mandatory. The other is Appendix C. Appendices B, D, F, G, H, I, K, L, and M are informative, non-mandatory. Appendix J is a blend of normative, mandatory, and informative, non-mandatory requirements. The appendix note, which displays directly under the title, clarifies the language. You find three appendices that are subdivided into two annexes. Appendix A contains Annex A.1 and Annex A.2. Starting in 2021, these are hosted online and are not part of the print or electronic versions of the code. Appendix C contains C1 to C12 and annexes A, B, C, D, and E. And Appendix J contains J1 and annexes J18, J20, JB, JD, and JT. As a user of the Canadian Electrical Code, Part 1, you need to recognize its format and terms. While it can seem complicated, there is a prescribed logic to how it is written and organized. The code is written using mandatory language. As you recognize and apply code rules, you need to be 100% certain of the terms shall not, and shall be permitted. Now that you have had a high-level view of the purpose of the appendices, are you ready to see what each appendix covers? Take a tour by selecting each appendix to hear and learn more. Appendix A lists standards used to certify electrical equipment for the purpose of being approved, as defined in Section 0. Appendix B is for notes and illustrations for information and clarification purposes only. The information only applies to the rules that are specifically listed within the appendix. This is the longest appendix of the code. Appendix C defines how the Technical Committee on the Canadian Electrical Code Part 1 is to operate. Appendix D is where a user of the code locates tables and diagrams that start with the letter D. Examples are Table D1, Table D10A, and Diagram D8. A comprehensive listing of tables and diagrams in Appendix D is located on the first page of this appendix. Appendix F contains, just as the title implies, engineering guidelines for preparing descriptive system documentation for intrinsically safe electrical systems and non-incentive circuits. It is specific to Rules 18002, 18066, J18002, and J18066. Appendix G lists requirements related to electrical installations not governed by rules of the Canadian Electrical Code Part 1, but are required by the National Building Code of Canada. Appendix H provides information on gas detection equipment for use in explosive gas atmospheres. It is specific to Rules 18070 and J18068, which apply to hazardous location installations. Appendix I are interpretations formatted as questions and answers, with the answers being simply yes or no. The interpretations in this appendix are based on rules in the previous edition of code. Rule numbering and content in the current code may differ from the previous edition. Appendix J has rules and notes to rules for installations using the division system of classification. These are for use in hazardous location installations, where an existing division system of classification is not reclassified to the zone system. Appendix K is a reprint of the ISO standard IEC 60364-1 low-voltage electrical installations. Included is Clause 13, Fundamental Principles. Appendix L provides guidance for the determination of hazardous areas in facilities where explosive atmospheres can occur. It is an overview of the most common considerations that should be addressed in performing an area classification. Appendix M lists the translated caution and warning markings by rule and Appendix B notes in English and French. Rules C11.1 and C11.2 clarify the language to be used in the code for the technical committees and help create uniformity and structure to the code. Rule C11.1. Because the Canadian Electrical Code Part 1 may be adopted as a regulatory document, it is important that all rules, sub-rules, and items be stated in mandatory language in accordance with CSA guidelines. Requirements shall be stated in the positive rather than the negative. The meaning of shall not, and shall be permitted are explained in this rule. The format for numbers is set by Rule C11.23. Values are in numerals, and quantities are in words. While rules can be complicated, they are easily broken down through the use of subrules and items. You may notice that all rules, subrules, and items have only one sentence each. This is set by Rule C11.24. A good example of this is Rule 6-208. Time for an activity. Choose your response and then select Submit. Time for an activity. Choose your response and then select Submit. This summary helps you to recall the main concepts and requirements of this code section.
Click Close Course to exit.